really great film. Really
Thanks, man.
wonderful, huge, spectacular. Where did the idea stem from?
Continue with the
more of this.
Yeah.
Where did you get the first? Where did the conversations first start?
It started with the script with the producer Beau Flynn. Beau and I had done Journey to the Mysterious Island together. We came off of that. The movie obviously did pretty well, and we talked about Journey 3 and San Andreas. And there was no script for Journey 3, but there was a script for this. It was a bit rough, but the concept was there. And the other thing that was there that was instantly engaging was both this kind of epic scale, set pieces, you know, razzle-dazzle, you know, you just knew the movie was going to be huge. The other thing that you didn't know was going to be there, and I was kind of more focused on in a way that's the thing I'm most proud of, was the intimacy of it. The fact that you could have the epic nature and the intimacy at the same time is something that you don't always get. And the family story, this concept of a family that was kind of fraying apart, and Dwayne Johnson playing a very kind of blue-collar hero, the potential of all of that clicking was something you don't normally see in a script. So instantly I was like, okay, this is something we haven't seen in a while, there hasn't been a great disaster movie in a while, and the way we can do it is a little more grounded, a little realer, and so I was like, okay, there's enough to latch onto here, so we started exploring it right away.
How did you work with, you have quite a lot of extras in moments, and then you have these really intimate, literally in the cabin of pretty much every vehicle you can imagine, the more intimacy.
Yeah.
What was it like trying to work with large numbers of extras where there aren't buildings falling down? How do you go from that to then the intimacy?
Well, truthfully, just try to focus on the characters. That's the way I did it. I basically tried to focus on what their story was and what their moments were. In particular, the extra scenes, truthfully, you rely on your first AD a lot. I mean, there's 500 people on that street. So I'm trying to get Yoan's character, the Daniel character, and trying to get all his moments. But if there's like one bad performance in the crowd, the whole thing falls apart because you suddenly go, oh, it's a movie, you know? So you're talking to your crew, you're constantly like trying to shape a performance out of the crowd, and I'm super crazy detail oriented, so I'll go and have the conversations with them, like when the building collapses, I want you to break the crowd into 3 sections. The first part of them realize what's happening right away, and they'll start moving back. The back half of the crowd, they don't even know what's happening until the people are running at them. So you're trying to get like a level of realism even out of that performance. So I basically take my crazy ADD approach to the cast and, you know, all the details and apply it to everything, even those big scenes, in order to get, you know, a realistic performance and a grounded kind of reality.
The visual effects they're spectacular, but I wonder how real are some of the moments. So you see the fault plates moving, you see buildings falling in certain ways.
Sure.
Did you ground that in any specialists telling you this is how a building would fall over, or is it more just for the spectacle?
No, everything's grounded. I mean, in the sense of, you know, we had professors at UCLA read the script, we had seismologists look at the script, we got their notes, how would this happen, how could we do this, all the lingo, all the equipment from Paul Giamatti's character, all that stuff is real, that's the real gear, that's really what they would say and how they would use it. And in terms of the visuals, every single moment's researched. I mean, to the point where what I did with my visual effects supervisor was I said every single shot I want there to be references. So if something comes up and we don't like it, I can say, open the file. So we would have coordinating file numbers with shot numbers. So if something came up and it felt false or felt weird, I'd say, open up the references to the shot. And I'd say, oh, I see where they're going wrong. I don't want to do that, and I want to do that. Because you have to kind of treat it with some respect. You've got to do it right. I don't, look, it's a Hollywood movie, right? It's an entertaining movie. But I want you to feel something. And the realism is where I think you emotionally engage. If it were fake, or if you didn't quite buy it, or if it was too Hollywood, you'd just go, oh, it's silly. You wouldn't feel something. So my goal is to make you feel something, because that's why I go to the movies. I want to go to the movies and laugh, cry, cheer, you know, get scared, all of it. So you do all the research so that you can go, even if I have to bend it a little bit or exaggerate a little bit, I know it's real, so I can make an educated decision on how to exaggerate it. So we spent a lot of time researching every single moment of the movie.
Having now done your disaster film, is it the sort of genre you'd ever want to go back to? Are there any complications that this genre kind of presents?
Well, there definitely are. I mean, I have to say that coming off of this movie, which, by the way, naively, I didn't really realize I was making a disaster movie. I know you're just like, okay, Brad Peyton's insane. What the hell is he talking about? But I was making a story and a movie about these characters. That's what I was so focused on. Who is Ray Gaines? What can Dwayne and I do together? You know, what is the emotion of the story? I was so focused on that. I wasn't really necessarily thinking about the genre I was in, you know. And I'll say that, like, my favorite disaster movie is Titanic, but I don't really call it a disaster movie, and that's because it's more than that. And also, my favorite science fiction movie is Children of Men, but I don't really call Children of Men a science fiction movie. They're just really good movies. So again, I was just trying to make this really good movie. That being said, and I understand it's now a disaster movie because everyone's telling me it's a disaster movie, I've definitely kind of looked into what it is and realized, like, I think I might have just been scratching the surface, because I've been actually working on an idea that is something that, you know, I'd never seen. Because that's, you have to go to that place where you're like, well, what have we not experienced? Or, you know, in this case, like, you know, why is an earthquake terrifying? What else would we be scared of? And the cool thing with making movies like this is really it's just up to your imagination. Like, you can really do a lot. So I may come back to the space because it's kind of fun to make these big movies. And the other cool thing that I should mention is that, you know, being in the summer of 2015, where it's a huge summer for movies, like, it's super exciting as a fan of movies. Like, I just saw Mad Max. It's like a hell of a ride. But, you know, what's cool for us with this movie is that it's not based on a toy line. It's not a sequel. There is a sense of discovery with this movie, and that originality is exciting for me, because I remember as a kid going to the movies and having no idea what I was in for, and, you know, it not necessarily being based on anything. And that sense of discovery, that honest kind of like, I don't know what this thing is gonna do. I don't, you know, I get to go see this new toy and play with this new thing. Our movie does that. We get to be that movie. And so it's weird, it hits you in certain moments where you're like, that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that, you know, we're just our own thing, you know? So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Brad, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Yeah, you got it, man.
All right, hold on, we gotta get over it before it crashes.